Welcome to the weekly market recap with Securities. Let's take a look at some of the latest developments in the Sri Lankan economy and financial markets. The Sri Lankan government has decided to maintain a 25-year tax exemption period for foreign investors in Colombo port city under the existing legal framework. These benefits, which were first introduced through a Gazette notification in August 2023, are due to lapse this August. But according to Finance Ministry officials, a new Gazette will soon be issued to continue the same incentives. The IMF has raised concerns warning the long-term tax holidays could reduce government revenue. However, the government is standing firm, saying the concessions granted under the previous administration will remain unchanged. Officials pointed out that 4 companies have already begun work within the port city with total investments amounting to $1.4 billion. Around 100 more investors are awaiting approval, and their combined investments could add up to another $3 billion. While the government may consider shortening the concession period to 12 years for new entrants, it confirmed that the original 25-year package will stay in place for those who are already on board. Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath emphasized that the Cabinet's Economic Subcommittee recently viewed the issue and agreed not to revise the 2023 policy for existing investors. He warned that scaling back incentives could discourage future investments. He also clarified to the IMF that these tax breaks apply exclusively to port city projects, not to other types of foreign investments. Under current guidelines, incentives are offered to investors who commit at least $1 million per plot, or $25 million for specific areas such as the marina or social infrastructure. The exemptions cover key taxes including corporate and income tax, valid for up to 25 years. This decision underscores the government's strategy to position Colombo Port City as a global business and financial hub, while walking a tightrope between investor appeal and fiscal sustainability. In a move to support small and medium-sized enterprises, Sri Lanka and China signs a new Memorandum of Understanding aimed at deepening bilateral trade and economic cooperation. According to the government, this agreement will establish an active group tasked with promoting smoother trade relations between the two countries. Cabinet spokesman and Media Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa explained that the group will focus on identifying untapped opportunities in bilateral trade. It will also work to address trade-related challenges, increase trade volumes, and improve the quality of exchanges between the two nations. The proposal was submitted by Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe, who oversees trade, commerce, food security and cooperative development. Under this MOU, both nations hope to drive stronger engagement in the SME sector while building a more resilient trade framework. The agreement is expected to provide new momentum for Sri Lankan SMEs by opening door to fresh opportunities in the Chinese market. Sri Lanka's export sector has shown strong resilience in the first 4 months of 2025, with total earnings crossing $5.5 billion. According to the Export Development Board, that's a 6.9% increase compared to the same period last year, a sign of steady recovery and market expansion across both goods and services. In April alone, exports hit $1.29 billion, up 8.74% year-on-year. Merchandise exports recorded a sharp 12% rise, reaching $983 million. EDB Chairman Mangala Vijayasinghe noted that the latest figures reflect Sri Lanka's growing presence in global trade as well as the adaptability of local exporters in a changing global market. When we break it down, the apparel and textile sector led the way with 13.5% growth in April, bringing in $364 million. Cumulative earnings from this sector for the year so far have topped $1.49 billion, with exports to the US and UK rising significantly. Tea exports also brewed up gains, rising over 12% in April and topping $478 million for the first 4 months. Strong demand for packaged tea and rising volumes contributed to this growth, particularly from markets like Iraq, Libya, and Iran. Coconut-based products were another major winner. April exports alone jumped 21.5%, boosted by strong performance in kernel, fiber, and shell-based items. Products like coconut milk powder and cream posted triple-digit growth rates. Spices and essential oils saw a massive 63% surge in earnings during the first 4 months, driven by robust exports of pepper, cinnamon, and cloves. Food and beverage exports climbed nearly 35% in April, supported by demand for processed food. Meanwhile, the services sector, led by ICT, logistics, and transport, continued to play a key role. Services exports rose over 7% to $1.18 billion in the 4-month period. Logistics and transport alone expanded by nearly 21%. But not all sectors had good news. Rubber-based products exports dropped over 6% due to weaker demand for tires. Electrical and electronic components also declined, impacted by lower exports of wires and printed circuits. Seafood exports faced the sharpest drop, down 17% year-on-year, mainly due to weaker sales of fresh fish and shrimp. Still, the overall momentum remains positive. The government says its continuing efforts to improve export competitiveness and widen global market access. In a bid to boost Colombo's nighttime economy and attract more tourists, the government has approved a new coastal development project under the theme Marine Nights Awakening Colombo. The plan aims to transform a 7.4-kilometer stretch of the city's coastal road from Kollupitia railway station to Dehiwala into a vibrant nighttime experience zone. According to the proposal, special attention will be given to 400-meter section starting from the Goldface Green and stretching towards Kollupitia. This area is expected to serve as a project's central hub, featuring nightlife attractions, entertainment options, and enhanced recreational spaces. The cabinet has approved the concept, which was presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism. The initiative is seen as a step towards remaining Colombo's coastal belt not only as a daytime destination but also as a thriving nighttime economy hub. Stakeholders believe this move will help boost tourism, increasing spending in the hospitality sector, and provide more recreational opportunities for both locals and visitors. Sri Lanka's apparel industry is showing strong momentum once again, with export numbers revealing solid growth in key global markets. According to the Joint Apparel Association Forum, Sri Lanka's apparel exports rose by 15.14% in April compared to the same month last year. This growth was largely driven by high demand in major markets. Exports to the United States climbed by nearly 7%, while shipments to the European Union, excluding the UK, jumped by more than 27%. Exports to the UK itself also grew by over 7%. In addition to these core markets, exports to other destinations recorded an impressive increase of 21.18%. Looking at the year-to-date performance, total apparel exports from January to April reached $1.66 billion. That's a 12.4% increase compared to the same period last year. During these 4 months, exports to the EU rose by over 18%, the US by 10%, and the other markets by nearly 14%. The UK market grew by just over 6%. Industry analysts say that this consistent growth highlights the sector's resilience and its ability to stay competitive despite ongoing global economic headwinds. The apparel sector continues to play a vital role in Sri Lanka's export economy, and these latest figures reinforce its importance as a key foreign revenue earner. Let's take a look at this week's Treasury bill auction results. With the recent Treasury bill auction, the 91-day T-bill rate stands at 7.55% down by 10 basis points. The 182-day T-bill rate stands at 7.77% down by 20 basis points. And the 1-year T-bill rate stands at 7.98%, showing down by 31 basis points compared to the previous week. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week.